Hello, Mr. Richards. My name is Jacob Riis. I am a social progressivist in New York right now, and I, I was from Denmark. I was born in the northern part of Denmark with 15 brothers and sisters, but I moved from Denmark and I was an immigrant into New York. And what I did was I came on my own at the age of 21 because I simply couldn't find any business in Denmark, and I needed a fresh start and a fresh opportunity. So when I came to the U.S., I came into New York, and I really realized the struggle of the poor working class in New York. I lived on the bad parts of the Lower East Side with all of the immigrants from um, Eastern Europe, Southern Europe, and some parts of Scandinavia, like me, from Denmark. And through my work, I really tried to find some sort of job. I was a carpenter, I did some different jobs, but then I came through to journalism so I could really show the public what was going on here and try to make a difference. So I wrote many books, including How the Other Half Lives, which was trying to shine a light on the problems of society and the injustices. And I was really trying to chronicle how the other half lived and to try to make some social change for this sort of position. My area of reform is more of like social reform, so that I could try to improve the squalid urban living conditions for these poor social people in the lower classes. Now, some people said that I have something against the rich, which is not at all the case, because the rich have to be able to make these reforms and to help, because the poor can't help themselves. Like this idea of social Darwinism and these liberties of contract are preventing the government from helping these people, so they're on their own without any help. Now, I'm not like totally for the like social gospel ideas, but we need some greater sense of equality, because if you say that the fittest will survive, that's not going to happen, because the fittest are those that have the best resources and who come from better backgrounds are more inclined to be able to get a better opportunity, whereas the poor, who have no chance, don't get these sort of opportunities. Now, maybe a guy like John Rockefeller, who started out super poor, but he rose all the way to the top, he's a way for the government to say, oh, look, that's a guy who started out poor, and he rose to be like a multi-millionaire, and what would be a billionaire in today's economy. So then the government can say, oh, well, he actually turned out super well, but he was poor, so anybody can do that. That's not at all the case. So we need the help of the rich to improve the lives of the poor, including the government. Now, one of my close friends is the president, Theodore Roosevelt, who I've been working with for a while to try to help improve society and to help improve the life of the poor. Because when I was a police reporter, he was the captain of the New York police force, and I tried to tell him that, listen, your cops aren't doing their job, they aren't trying to protect the people, which is their responsibility, and they're letting the rich live in conditions like the France pre-Enlightenment with the aristocratic class, whereas the poor would be in these poor slums with the worst living conditions imaginable. So what I did was I used this new idea at the time, which is called flash photography, to try to actually show people how these poor people were living, because before you could read about it in books, you could hear people say things, but a picture tells more than 1,000 words, because you can actually see what was happening rather than people try to use words to describe, which could be faked by the government. I think that the government has to help, and this has to be a very soon issue to be addressed, because if not, our society will split off, because the rich are only getting richer and the poor are only getting poorer. We really have to fix this as a society and as a nation, especially in these urban environments. Because as much as industrialism will improve, it's not going to help if the poor get even worse working conditions, because it's just not going to fix anything. Thank you so much, and we need to make this reform current and now. The primary issue is social reform for me, because this has to be, because this involves everybody, and this has to be addressed. Governments have to make change. I think that the cities themselves have to take away some of this liberty of contract stuff so that they can have more power on acting upon these things. Like, for example, in Lochner versus New York, the Supreme Court said, we may think that these are bad living conditions, however, due to liberty of contract, we don't have jurisdiction. Like, we shouldn't have the big business and these tycoons of industry have more power than our government, because they don't care about the people. They care about making money, which generally goes against the will of the poor working class, whereas the government is concerned with the rights and liberties and freedom of the people. So take away some of this liberty of contract and social Darwinism ideas to give power back to the people. Thank you.